For more than 10 years, The Big Bang Theory brought laughter and comfort into millions of homes. But behind the canned applause and clever one-liners, there was another story, one filled with control, fear, and hidden trauma. While the audience enjoyed the humor and light-hearted moments, the women on the show were dealing with something far more serious. Now, those buried truths are surfacing, and they're far more disturbing than anyone could have imagined. What played out on screen as quirky genius and romantic misadventure hit a world of restrictive contracts, dangerous stalkers, addiction, and discrimination. These weren't just minor struggles, these were career-threatening, life-altering events. From physical injuries to emotional torment, the female cast of The Big Bang Theory faced challenges no fan ever saw. And for years, they were legally forbidden from speaking out. It all started with a clause. Tucked deep within their contracts was a confidentiality agreement that looked ordinary on paper, but acted more like a gag order. While studios often include non-disclosure terms, this one effectively barred the actresses from ever revealing the turmoil they endured. Then, in 2019, a set of leaked court records offered the first real glimpse behind the curtain, and what they revealed was terrifying. Threats of violence, home invasions, online harassment that turned into real-world danger. One actress even had to sign a medical form stating she understood the possibility of waking up from surgery missing a limb. These weren't just worst-case hypotheticals, they were actual risks the cast faced. Yet Warner Brothers, desperate to preserve its billion-dollar brand, kept the women silent. Publicly, the show remained squeaky clean. Privately, the cast suffered in silence. The studio prioritized image above all else. And while fans laughed along with Sheldon's quirks and Penny's sarcasm, the actresses were forced to mask their fear and pain. Their contracts kept them quiet, and any threat to the sitcom's wholesome image was quietly covered up. But once the leaks emerged, one thing became undeniable. This wasn't just drama. This was real life. In 2010, Kayley Cuoco's world nearly changed forever. During a horseback riding session, she suffered a devastating fall that shattered her leg. Her bones tore through the skin and doctors feared the worst, amputation. Her future on the show and in Hollywood hung in the balance. Thankfully, emergency surgery saved her leg. But most fans never realized how close The Big Bang Theory came to losing one of its central stars. Though she returned to filming in just 2 weeks, the recovery took a darker toll. To manage the pain, Kayley was prescribed powerful medications, and over time dependency crept in. Her speech began to slur. Her energy faded. Editors worked overtime to clean her audio and keep her performances consistent. All the while, she was battling a silent war behind the scenes, her condition hidden under layers of post-production polish. That wasn't her only struggle. As her fame soared, so did the pressure to meet Hollywood's unforgiving beauty standards. Kayley quietly developed an eating disorder, trying to fit the image the industry demanded. Costumers padded her outfits to hide her shrinking figure. Directors adjusted camera angles to keep the illusion alive. Penny, the girl-next-door character, remained vibrant and carefree. But off-screen, Kayley was falling apart, exhausted and emotionally fragile, all while smiling for the camera. Early fans noticed the chemistry between Penny and Leonard, and it turns out the spark was real. Kayley and co-star Johnny Galecki began dating during the first season, keeping the relationship completely secret. No set gossip. No outings. Just quiet, hidden love. The fear? That going public might jeopardize their roles or even violate contractual obligations. Their relationship bloomed behind closed doors but ultimately ended in 2009. Then came an emotional twist. Writers, unaware of the real-life split, scripted a breakup for Penny and Leonard. Suddenly, Kayley and Johnny were reliving their heartache for the world to see. Tears in those scenes? They weren't acting. They were heartbreak caught on film, the lines echoing words they'd said to each other only weeks before. Kayley has since said those were some of the most painful moments of her life. After intense scenes, she'd retreat to her dressing room in tears. One line, delivered by Penny about feeling not good enough, cut so deep because it was rooted in truth. Audiences saw compelling performances, never realizing the pain behind them was entirely real. As the show grew into a cultural juggernaut, the attention shifted from admiration to obsession, and that obsession quickly turned dangerous. After posting a seemingly harmless photo of her dog standing on an American flag, Kayley received a wave of death threats. The threats became so severe the FBI stepped in. She hired private security, but the danger persisted. A disturbed fan even broke into her home, convinced that he and Penny were destined to be together. Mayim Bialik, who played Amy Farrah Fowler, also became a target. Her character's romance with Sheldon struck a nerve with some fans, who believed she didn't deserve him. The backlash escalated into horrifying threats of sexual violence. And things only got worse after Bialik wrote a controversial op-ed for the New York Times during the height of the Me Too movement. While she tried to explain her position, social media backlash was swift and unforgiving. Some fans demanded her character be removed from the show entirely. Melissa Rauch, known for playing Bernadette, wasn't spared either. Her address was leaked online, doxed by angry viewers who disliked her on-screen dynamic with Howard. Suddenly, she was living with the fear that a complete stranger could knock on her door. Security measures were ramped up, but the emotional toll lingered. Through it all, the women were advised to stay quiet. Don't react. Don't respond. Don't show fear. But silence didn't shield them, it just made them easier targets. When the series aired its final episode in 2019, most viewers believed it marked a happy ending. But for the women behind the roles, the struggle continued. Rumors swirled that Kayley Cuoco was preparing to release a memoir, until Warner Brothers stepped in. They cited the same contract clause that had haunted her for years, warning that any revelation that could harm the studio would be considered a breach. Even her personal truth wasn't hers to tell. A much-anticipated reunion special was discussed but never materialized, not because of scheduling conflicts but due to unresolved issues. Chief among them? Equal pay. The women wanted compensation equal to their male co-stars. The studio refused. Negotiations broke down, and with them, the final opportunity for the cast to come together again. Meanwhile, whispers of legal complaints, some even involving allegations of harassment, surfaced. Details were sealed. But the shadows remained. What the world saw was a feel-good sitcom about nerds and their misadventures. But behind that facade was a reality filled with silence, danger, and inequality. The women of The Big Bang Theory brought joy to millions, while quietly enduring a nightmare behind the scenes. Do you believe these truths should have come out sooner? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden Hollywood stories that were never meant to see the light of day.